Hello everyone, my name is PauLInstaMyooin, and we're back with another edition of Pokemon Y Shiny Hunting. This will be episode 623. We'll be shiny hunting for Rotom since Tuesdays, so pretty much, assuming that I can only get one, a daily event type Pokemon like this, where there's only two in this game and Pokemon X I believe as well, being Rotom on Tuesdays and the Lost Hotel from the Shaking Trash Bins, possibly. It could be Trubbish or Garbodor. But on those days, if you're finding a shaken trash bin in the Lost Hotel, save before it, and then keep going, like we're soft resetting after you've checked it until you get a Pokemon encounter, because it's not always Pokemon encounters. It can be an item that you'll get. Um, but yeah, and yeah, so I don't know if that's how that works, to where if you catch that certain Pokemon that is special, that's not usually supposed to be there, it's only on those certain days, catch, kill, or run away, and then save the game. I don't know if that's like you only get one shot to get one of those. So if so, I'm only going to say one nickname for the basic Rotom, because Rotom can have different forms. So I'm going to stick with the basic one, just a normal form. And the shiny color is like a strawberry applesauce color to me. So I personally went with the simple name Straw Tom. Literally what I'm going to call it. If I hopefully do find, well, I'm sure I will find, but find and hopefully catch it. So yeah. So anyway, the topic for this episode is by me. It is about Super Mario World. It's actually the final topic for now for that game. It's pretty much what are your favorite power-ups in that game, if you even care about it, of course. Um, I don't know, because Yoshi is kind of considered a power-up because you hit it in the block and it hatches from an egg. Um, so I don't know if that's actually considered a power-up. Maybe it is. I don't know, because, that's a living being. Uh, but it's in the game, so I don't know. You can consider that a power-up. I might. I don't know. If so, I love Yoshi. But if I would have to say my favorite power-up, just like being non-living, I would say, I was going to say the cape, the little feather that falls, and you get like the cape and everything, and you can pretty much float and everything. But I don't know. I'm not sure. That's all that can come to mind right now is the cape. I'm not really sure. Well, if anything, if Yoshi counts as a power up, I definitely would love, Yoshi's my number one power up in that game. And then second would be the feather. And then third would be, I don't know. Because there would be Fire Flower, Mushroom, Star. I don't really know the other ones. I don't really remember. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess just like I said, those are my top two, I guess. So if you count Yoshi as a power up, which I kind of do because you hit it from a block and hatches from an egg, and that was an item, an egg, even though it was like a living being inside still, not born yet, but then it hatched. So I kind of count that as a power up, okay? So I'm gonna say that's my favorite power up in that game. And the second favorite would be the feather, where you have the cape and stuff. It looks like a feather, but you get it as you like have look like a superhero. You get all the cape and everything. So that combined with Yoshi is very crazy because you can float and stuff, and it's really great. Yoshi's already pretty amazing, but able to have like stuff like that with Yoshi is amazing. But I guess there's also when you have Yoshi on you, when you have certain shells like red shells and you spit it out, it actually turns into fireballs, like a triple shot fireball. Um, and then when you eat up a yellow shell, I believe Yoshi is able to do a stomping power up on the ground. And then when you have a blue shell, you actually fly, but eventually you like want to swallow it or spit it out. So it will eventually like disappear and then you'll fall. So you kind of got to be careful with that. But yeah, those are power ups too. So those are cool. If I were to have to say my favorite out of those, I would like the wings, just because you can literally fly. Because the cape is like you can decently fly when you have a running start, but it's really weird how that is in that game. In Super Mario Bros. 3, you had the Tanuki. That was the basic one for if you ran for a while and then you fill the bar up and then the P button was blinking, then you can keep spamming the jump button and then you would slowly like fly up. Well, it depends on how fast you can press it. But yeah, it's like that was how that worked in that game. But in this game, with that the whole cape thing, it's like you're able to stay up for a little bit. I think if you hold like down or something, like you do a dive bomb, but it's kind of like using the cape as like a wingsuit or like a parachute that goes forward and stuff. So it's like most of the time when you're trying to do something like that, you want to have something in your hand because that in that game, even the Goombas you can stomp on and then hold them. It's really interesting. But yeah, it's like with that, it just locks you in a holding position, but you also can like do jumping and stuff and do the whole running thing. So yeah, so one of the levels you actually have to do that. Grab a shell, just like on your own, just Mario alone, with a cape power up, and then you grab it, and then you just run with the shell, and you go all the way across, and then it's like a huge jump. Like you think you wouldn't make it, but it's like you do. It's like so cool. But yeah, those are like my favorite power ups. I would say. So yeah, I'm curious to know what would be your favorite power ups if you care about the game at all. But those are pretty much just mine. They could be power up or power ups. Like I said, I had multiple, but you can just have one if you want. That's up to you. But anyways, yeah. So what was I talking about last time? Oh, wait, okay. So my best friend introduced me to this new game. I think I've seen it before. It's a free game. I think it's like on multiple platforms. Computer, we were playing it on his PS4. But it's called Overcooked. And at first it looks kind of silly, but it's one of those games. The reason why, like I was saying before I ended off last episode, I don't have it in my combination of love picture, because there's a bunch of games that I love playing multiplayer and have on like my Wii and stuff, just in general that I know of, but I would only really play multiplayer. It's just single player playing it is just like boring. So, but anyway, yeah, we almost beat the game. We were really close. We would have beat it if I would have stayed up on Sunday, but then Monday it was kind of like it was still we were hanging out, but we didn't do much video games. We actually like stayed outside for a while, chill out in the pool and in the jacuzzi, and just like we're like absorbing the sun, just like getting some sun. And yeah, it was fun. It was like a lot different than usual, because usually we just like do whatever. Most of the time it's like inside, or just even if we go out, it's kind of like I don't know, it's something weird. We don't like mind going outside. It's just like I don't know, not much interest, I guess, but it was fun for sure. Yeah, that Overcooked game was so interesting because literally your main thing that you would be doing is cooking, and I'm really only used to those kind of cooking type games when it's like in Mario Party and in one of the mini games it's like cook, and it's like that's like the last time I really played seriously a cooking type game. But it was fun though. If you've never seen or played it before, definitely give it a try. I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's free, so it's it's something else. It's really interesting if you never really got into those kind of games. Just really mainly just multiplayer. It's fun. I mean, you could play single player, but I don't know. It's not much interesting just like on your own. But it's really cool though. It's quite something. But yeah, that's like one of the things that I tried, and he got me into like showing me a bunch about these. I've always heard of the person John Wick before in Fortnite. I just knew he was like a big meme and stuff, and everyone was like all scared when he was like seen in the skin and stuff. I mean, most of the people, if you played since like really early on in Fortnite, then you would be able to get the John Wick skin. I mean, sometimes they bring skins back, like because when they bring one out, they come out. Once it's like not in the shop, it's like gone. You can't get it again. So it's like you got to be on that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah. So that was interesting because I was like always thinking John Wick was just like only in Fortnite. But he actually has like a whole set of movies, and he's really cool. Like he's on the level of like James Bond, 007, Triple X. What was that one movie? something about like vampire slaying. Vin Diesel was in it, and then this main guy was like a black guy. I can't think of the name because I remember telling my best friend about that when he was like telling me about that movie. And then we didn't watch much of The Walking Dead when I was over there. I was just like saying that this guy from The Walking Dead, his name was Shane. He was mainly in the first season, and he was Rick's. Rick was the main character, the sheriff guy. He was his best friend, and he thought that Rick died when the zombie apocalypse came out. So pretty much his wife and his kid was still alive, but they thought Rick was dead. So then Shane really loved his wife, and he pretty much was like a thing with Rick's wife was named Lori, and then their son is named Carl. So he pretty much was like the dad and the husband and stuff like that for a while until Rick came back, and he so happened to like join up with the group that his wife and his son were in. So Shane didn't know, and then he got like you can see how he was kind of just like happy but jealous at first because now it's like them going back to Rick. He's alive and he's being like left and lonely and stuff. So pretty much he ends up being like a bad guy. Like he was evil. So that guy, he's actually in a lot of other movies as well. Mainly being known from The Walking Dead, but he has a lot of good shows in general. And just he's one of those like Wolverine, the guy who plays Wolverine. Yeah, people like that, they're just so good with acting, like serious acting. And then people like Tom Cruise as well. I mean, there's like a bunch of different actor styles, and yeah, it's so cool just seeing that stuff. Because most of the time, if you don't know, I don't really watch stuff that's like over 35 minutes on my own time, just so I can do other stuff so that it won't like eat up my time. Because I barely, obviously on these days, I really don't have much free time besides like eating and stuff like that, and like going to the bathroom or something like that. But yeah, anyway, so pretty much, it was interesting just him showing me all that stuff, because I knew about some of it, but I didn't know about the whole thing about like that guy who played Shane in Walking Dead, and then John Wick guy actually being like a real life actor. Definitely some cool new things that I didn't really know about. And it was fun. It was really fun, because I don't mind watching that kind of stuff with people when I'm like hanging out with them, because I obviously don't have to worry about work, so I can just like do whatever. So yeah, and it's just the same with like eating as well. It's just like usually I have like a certain like strict diet when I'm like the days that I'm working, so that I go to the bathroom as less as I can, and my body's most optimized for working. But obviously when I'm hanging out, I don't care what I eat. I literally don't care. I could be scarfing on snacks, food, whatever. So yeah. So anyways, so yeah, the Overcooked game was really cool. And then yeah, it's really the only game we actually played together. Well, no, we played Mortal Kombat 11 as well. And what was the other game? NBA 2K17, I'm pretty sure it was called, or 2K18, whatever it was pretty much, just playing basketball, and video game. I think those were the only ones we played. We watched a lot of this game called God of War. He was like showing me a lot of the stuff, like the bosses, because I like watched like him in the past, in all these games that he's played, but I've never actually personally played them myself, but they look awesome. Obviously I'm, pretty poor. I can't really try new games like that to where I'm not able to use an emulator just like a lot, and now that I'm like, not having much free time in general, it's kind of hard to squeeze stuff in. Oh, speaking of that, so speaking of stuff like free time stuff, so remember when I was saying that I was borrowing my sister's boyfriend's Wii remote, because you need a Wii remote to actually be able to use the Wii. So when he was here yesterday, I will talk about that later. I'll be ending off episode 623. If it's not 623, then it's 624. But yeah, anyways.